I'd also like to acknowledge Pans on Fire, the work that they've done. I think they've just been fantastic to promote the cause, and I thank them for coming today. It's helped a lot of people along the way. I'd also like to acknowledge the Lions Club, the work the Lions Club do. I'm in Rotary at Frankston, and I know the work that these types of organisations do in the background unnoticed, and they do an amazing job to really help the community without any reward. They just work tirelessly in the background. In 2011, I started to get schools come up wanting information about the bushfires. The following years it just escalated. The last couple of years I've been working very closely with the Geography Teachers Association to design this around the curriculum that the kids have to learn. There's two areas, one is the VCE or the senior schools and the other is the primary. It's ultimately going to be part of a national project, and with the websites that I have, they are used nationally. I'd also like to thank the people of Marysville that have contributed to this exhibition. It wouldn't happen if I didn't have support from so many people in this town. And also from the other communities like Kinglake and Flowerdale and Strathuyt, and there's all bits and pieces from those other communities. What we're doing here will ultimately form part of a network. This information can be reduplicated in other places around Victoria and around Australia.
Next year, the Victorian curriculum, which is a version of the Australian curriculum, comes into play in all schools, particularly with the Bushfire Royal Commission Recommendation 6 of the importance of education. That helped to support our view that bushfires should be a compulsory part of the curriculum. That all now comes in. So next year, I'm delighted to announce that all Year 5 students will be studying bushfires and floods, which is just a great thing for students to learn about. Then in Year 8, all Year 8 students will be learning about bushfires and natural disasters and responses and the impacts and what to do about that. And for VCE, in Year 11, hazards and disasters, many chapters of the textbook are dedicated just to bushfires. So all students, by the time they finish their compulsory schooling at Year 10, they will have been exposed to this essential area of the curriculum many times. I highly recommend all the time to our teachers for them to come to this area. It's got a long history of students and teachers studying geography in this area, and it's just a perfect place to come. Because teachers will come if it's linked into the curriculum. If they can see, if I come here, I can also go to a number of the other resources around here, and I can tick boxes for the content descriptions, the compulsory ones. And with the resources that he's developed here, it's absolutely superb. Thanks, Barry, and to the Marysville community and all involved in developing this fine resource. And it's not just this. Barry's got a great website with lots of links and resources and photographs for the students to see before they come here and when they go back to school. It's all curriculum linked. And thank you to your community in advance for when you see lots of geography minibuses and tour buses coming in over the next few years to learn about and interact with you in the community to find out about bushfires and the impacts and what we should be doing about it and how we should manage that. And this resource will become a central pivot for the study of geography and bushfires in Victoria.
Steve, that was absolutely fantastic what you've described there, because that's the hub of what we're about. It's about learning. It's about children at every level of their education coming through and having an experience that all of you had. What's in this building here is yours. You can touch it. It's something that's important. It looks different. It's been impacted by fire. It's been part of the fire, but it actually means something. And that means this place has got a big heart. And this heart is what is growing here, will continue to grow. And I suppose, Barry, I reckon there's one thing you've missed. I reckon you've got to pinch one of the Pans shirts and you've got to frame it and put it in there, because that in itself, or the story of the Pans, is part of where it is. But just that alone, like they're capturing the things. This sign behind me, what's it mean to someone? It means something to someone all the way. The energy that's in the Pans and the story behind the Pans and the personal bits is what makes this what it is. And people can come here and touch it. So the kids that must leave here, whether they're in grade 5, grade 8, whether they're 7 or 17, have got a story to tell. And you know what they're doing? Barry's dead right. They're taking photos, they're putting it together, and it's being published as they leave here. It'll be on Facebook, it'll be on Twitter, it'll be in their projects, because that's the way the world works now. The other thing that is interesting in Victoria, and Barry, talked about complacency, I suppose, of how we see fire, and sometimes it's always someone else's problem, or I'll be very energised about fire, but is my neighbour energised about it, all those sorts of things. So fire is one of those things that I always say we've got to take serious, and we don't need to scare people, we've got to take it serious though. And through what Barry and others have done, and even when we had the chance to present to your teachers, 500 teachers, the energy out of those 500 teachers, and I've been amazed where I've run into them in their environments as teachers in schools that have said, hey, what you did there was good, or what we're doing with that is something. So the connection and the networks, we can't do it by ourselves. So it's got to be networked across everything we do. And this is part of that. Now, just in my final comments, we shouldn't underestimate what this is. I'll certainly be behind how to make this bigger and better all the time. Graham's done it in Cockatoo, and it's been Graham's was the captain of Cockatoo Fire Brigade in 1983, and travelled the whole story about how Cockatoo was just ravaged by fire and has been a resident there all of his life. And they, as a community, fought to keep what was there, I'll say the kindergarten, but the early children facility that is iconic in the town, about how people gravitated to that as the fire came into town. It was interesting. This is not a negative comment, it's a reality comment. There was other people in government levels, local government and other parts of government, that didn't want to actually support that. It was a building that had been let run down and needed a bit of money, and it was the community themselves said, no, we want that, and we want it for a purpose. And now Graham's been able to champion, and Barry's been extremely helpful to give it a purpose about education. It's absolutely fantastic. So that's only one example. Go to Anglesea. Anglesea built a brand new fire station all around education of school children, because they've got a lot of school camps down there. They built their whole fire station that traditionally had been where you back trucks into, that you've still got trucks backed into it, but the other part is all about education. So it's gone, and they haven't been burnt out, Anglesea, but it's gone and picked up all the things you can actually have students come through and learn about fire in their environment. And think about that, the kids that normally come to Anglesea to learn are children that are probably go to school in Brighton, go to school in Brunswick. They're city based, and they go down for 2 weeks of their school life, and part of that is learning about fire and the environment. Anglesea Primary School have championed that, so the kids at Anglesea actually teach it. And similar program now happening at Strathewin. So all of a sudden, these programs about getting the reality, the things you can touch and feel that have got hearts to them, tell the story, and it's the story we've got to tell. It's absolutely the story we've got to tell. I won't go any further, just to say congratulations. This is a fantastic initiative. It started from a little thing, and it's growing to be something that is across Victoria, and as Barry said, will be connected nationally. And it's all about how we network it and connect it to the education system, which is fantastic news to see how that's occurring too. So thank you, and well done.